Welcome to Bourbon and Beats. We have a special guest this week, Bryan Kerouac.
Oh, that's kind.
Yeah, a special guest. Bryan Kerouac is here. We were just getting to know each other a little bit. We have met briefly at the Soda City Market and the Bull Street Market.
Correct.
I'll let you talk about your business and what you do there.
Well, it's cool seeing you. When we first met, my daughters who run the business, Yellow Roman Candle, you know, that I'm talking to a lot of people, and they will notice people who are like, Dad, maybe you should go talk to that guy or go say hi. Because you were very picky with what you were looking for.
Ah, I gotcha.
You know? And they're like, not that you needed help, but they're like, hey, he looks interesting, go talk to him. Okay? So I said, okay, so, you know, I'll go talk to you. And we hit it off. It was very brief though, because it was busy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, maybe I really like to get to know him because we had a lot in common.
Yeah.
But it was so busy, you know, I just had to bounce around and see other people. But when we met at the Bullseye Market on that Sunday, we got to know each other a little bit more.
Yeah, because you weren't as busy.
Right, but I believe it was your wife, because we started talking about the store, right? Because you said, how long have you been here? Do you have a store? Everybody says that.
Right.
Because most people
It's the assumption.
Well, most people have a pop-up, might have a store.
Right.
If not, you're doing it as a hobby and you work during the week. But it looks like a store, so people say, you guys have a brick and mortar. And then, like I told you, I said we did. And man, I'll tell you, that was fun. But Soda City's been so good to us. We've been in one location, so people get to know where you are.
Yeah.
And we get to actually know our customers or know our friends now.
Right.
And they will come by and say hi. They will, if it's hot out, they'll bring us cold drinks. You say hi, they'll bring us food. I mean, it's just really crazy.
Right.
But it's a really cool community. And that's what you and your wife were like at Bull Street. You were just friendly and you wanted to talk, and we had a lot in common.
Yeah.
And then I think she brought up the points like, you know, you should probably have them, you know. And I'm going, well, okay, well, what is this we're talking about?
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. I had just been telling her, and you know, I just started this channel a couple of months ago, so it's, you know, still brand new, and you know, so I'm still thinking a lot about the format and content, of course, and one of the things I was thinking, I want to mix it up a little bit so that it's not just me talking for 20 minutes every week. And so I had just mentioned to her, I want some interesting guests, and we started going through our list of friends, family members, acquaintances, and there were a few of those we identified that, hey, next time they come to visit, that might be fun. I was just telling you earlier, I just interviewed my brother recently, so that'll be an episode soon, and he was on the list. But I wanted some local flavor too, so I was thinking, are there local distilleries that I can go visit and maybe get a tour and talk to someone? That was one idea that came up. And when I was thinking about potential musical guests, the first person that popped in my head was Miss Shay over at Shay's Lounge here in town. I bet she has a fascinating story. But I was just brainstorming with her, you know, who can I talk to local that is either into music or bourbon or both. And so it was very good timing that we had a chance to chat with you that day. And yeah, she definitely gave me the old nod and said, you know, maybe this is a good potential chat that you could have on camera sometime.
You have so much to choose from in the Columbia area. I've been here not a long time, probably longer than anywhere in my life, but I still don't consider it a long time. But the distilleries we have, the jazz we have, the classic, I mean, so much cultures here in this small little place.
Right.
And like large cities, we have our pockets. You're in Elmwood. Across the street is Cottontown. And we got Rosewood and Bradley neighborhoods. And it's cool. We got pockets of neighborhoods where people are actually saying, well, where are you from? And they don't say really Columbia oh, I'm from this area. And people know where that is.
Exactly.
Because we're very proud of our area. If you would have said, I'm in the Elmwood area, I know exactly where that is. Or Cottontown or Noma, North Maine.
Yeah.
And we're coming up with these acronyms and names. And that's just really cool because it gives us a family feeling
Right.
when there's pockets of communities,
Right.
and we're welcomed in each one of them.
Yeah, well, it's a very welcoming city. We've been here about 3 years, and we just love the culture. And we meet fascinating people, everywhere we go, and we like to get out and interact, and have made more of an effort probably in the last year to really start interacting a lot more, get involved with events and stuff. And so the Soda City Market and the Bull Street Market are two places we like to go just to see interesting people and interact.
You said 3 years. We might have discussed this previously. So you came here from where?
Middle Tennessee is where I'm
That's
from.
right, Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's right.
But my wife is from East Tennessee, so we met when I moved to the East Tennessee area for work. We met, and that was it. So
Tennessee's interesting because it's kind of the new West Coast. A lot of like Paramount is looking at going to Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
You're looking at a lot of these recording studios, not just country, are moving to Tennessee.
Yeah.
The culture there is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you find this similar. Now I know in Tennessee, I mean it's a very big state.
Yeah.
People don't realize it's long and it's big.
Yes.
Mountain like this, some mountains here, and just a lot of geography there.
Yeah.
But it's cool that you settled here. Now, whether or not it was for a job or not, it's kind of cool you settled here because you fit.
Yeah. Well, initially it was for a job, but it was a job that didn't pan out. But we loved it so much here that we decided to stay anyway. So.
Well, that's our gain.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate
because
that.
you and your wife, you're remarkable people.
Well, I thank you for that.
Yeah.
It's good to meet people that share a passion for vinyl and for whiskey, and we're going to talk about both those things today.
Yes, we are.
We've got a whiskey we're going to sample and together
For the first time.
For the first time.
That
both
thing's
of us. never
been cracked open yet.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
So looking forward to doing that, and then after that, we're going to come back over, and while we sip, we'll talk about one of the most influential artists in pop music history, Mr. David Bowie.
Yes, we are. That's going to be fun.
All right, looking forward to it. So we're going to head over to the bar. All right, Bryan, tell me about this whiskey you brought this week.
Okay, I know nothing about this whiskey I brought, okay? Other than my son Jack and I went to many times the Camden Revolutionary War site in Camden.
Okay.
And we go talk to them, and they showed us how they make things back in the day, and they put you in stocks, and you can write letters with feather pen. I mean, it's very historically accurate.
Okay.
So going through all of that, there was a bar. I'm thinking, Eric, this is a like just decoration, because it's a house supposed to look like it. I'm like,
Right.
and I said,
Just the vibe of the place. They're
right,
just setting
right,
a
it's
vibe.
right, decorate. And I thought, do you sell that? They said, well, as a matter of fact, we do. And I said, well, that's cool. So I found this. It's Colonial Musket Fire Smoked Whiskey, aged 3 years, and it's commemorating the Battle of Camden in 1780.
Okay.
And when they do the reenactment, this is the one they're reenacting.
Okay.
And I thought, well, that's kind of cool. And I've had this for quite a while. Now, the distillery, on the back here, it is the Gorget.
Right.
Okay. And I'm like, well, is that a name? So of course I looked it up. And Gorget is the armor by the neck, right? And then some of the generals and the fighters here in South Carolina put decorations on there, and that's where we got the crescent, the palm tree, all that.
Gotcha.
So that's what the Gorget is, a piece of the armor. I'm not the expert. I just read this,
Right.
Because I wanted to sound really cool when I came here. So
Well, I'm glad you brought this one because I did not even know the distillery existed.
Me neither.
And
I didn't either.
as you said, we're both going to be trying this whiskey for
Yes,
the
we
first
are.
time today. Do you want to do the honors? Or
Please, no, you're home.
All right.
You're home. But when I went online, I looked it up, and there are so many things they distill there.
Okay.
Rums and vodkas and whiskeys and bourbons. But this is the one I had.
Yeah, and I think it was a limited release because
Yes.
I did not see it on the website currently. So this is pretty special.
And being the 250th year, and this is commemorating the Revolutionary War, I thought this is perfect for you and I to crack this thing open.
It is.
During July of 2026. This is what we should be doing.
And trying whiskey on camera is a pretty cool thing. And I just did that for the first time recently, so this will kind of dribble it a little bit. Okay.
All right, let's act like we know what we're doing. You do know.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So they say cinnamon, smoky. There's a little bite after. Yeah, smells like a little campfire. Right? A little smoky.
I get the
mesquite.
I do get a little bit of mesquite.
Yeah.
And smoke, and maybe a little cinnamon.
Cinnamon up front. Little fire down the throat.
It is almost like a cinnamon whiskey.
Right. And as it's settling down, it's a little burn, but comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what? This in coffee would probably be remarkable. In black coffee, little dash of this.
Yeah, might also mix well with. I was gonna say you might use it in place of dark rum in a lot of rum cocktails.
Right, right.
Because it has a little bit of a hint of rum. It's not just, it doesn't just taste like whiskey. It's got a little bit of rum flavor.
So I'm thinking, and I don't know, I mean, you know what we should do? We should go there. I think you and I should go there. I'm thinking they advertise a lot of rum there, Eric, a lot of rum. Maybe some of the barrels they're using to hold some of this, and we're getting a little bit of the flavor that's inside the barrel and this that maybe held rum before.
You might be right.
Because I taste that.
Because they're it's a smoked whiskey, so they're not held to the standards of bourbon. They don't have to use new barrels, in other words. So they may be indeed reusing a lot of the barrels.
This is nice.
Yeah, I like that. Shall we pour a little more and go over and talk about Bowie?
I think I'm down with that. Let's do it.
All right, cool. So we were talking about how, as opposed to a collection, you really have a rotating door, a lot of inventory coming in, inventory going out, and I actually want to just mention on camera that the reason I enjoy buying albums from you is that you do an extensive quality check on them. You actually play them. When I buy them from you, they're in great condition and they're clean already. So one of the first things I have to do when I get albums at, say, a vintage shop, just walking in, before I put them on the turntable, to get my cleaner out and give them a good once over. I haven't had to do that with anything I've bought from you before. So I will say that you maybe can get an album a few bucks cheaper at a vintage shop when you go in there, but you don't know for sure it's not going to skip or it's going to be dirty. So I am more than willing to pay just a few bucks more to know I'm getting a very high quality product when I buy it from you.
That's kind. And you and I and most people listening or watching, they've had those experiences of buying an older record.
Yeah.
50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s. And in usually the record business, a reselling of records, there is no guarantee.
Right.
A lot of record stores, somebody will come in and say, hey, I want to sell 100 records. And they will take them in. They'll say, here's what we'll give you to 100 records. And there's some stores will wipe them down and look at them, and they'll put them out. Some stores don't. They will just get them, price them, put them out.
Right.
Now they're going to look to make sure that they're not cracked in half. That'd be embarrassing for the store.
Sure.
But
it's just a quick cursory glance, and that's
right.
it. Yeah.
And that wasn't good enough. It just wasn't, Eric. And so I did a lot of studying. I traveled a lot. Sun Studios, different studios. And I was like, how do you clean your records? You can go online. There's this machine and that machine, and I found out that by hand with soap and water, and that blows people away, Eric. It's like, I'm sorry, what? You get the record wet? Well, it's vinyl.
Right.
They're worried about the label.
Right.
That label's going nowhere. I mean, if you've ever watched a video of how, and I know you have, how they make a record, that baby's sealed on there.
Right.
Unless you take that rough part of that sponge and you scrub it, it's going nowhere.
Right.
And I take my sweet time cleaning both sides of the record, and then by hand I take soap and I wash it, and then you can feel any imperfections in it.
Right.
And then there's ways, get a magnifying glass out and a toothpick, and you get out the things. I mean, it's a process. And I have a very extensive machine, but if I can't get it clean my way, I might put it through the machine. And it's a Typhoon, so it's like a shop vac for a record.
Gotcha.
That's for a very old, like, I did that for Buddy Holly's first pressing record, his very first record, Buddy Holly's.
Wow.
Somebody really played that thing, and I'm like, okay, this is going to need me and the machine.
Right.
So some of them need that. And then I play the record. And if it's not to my quality, it doesn't sell.
Right.
And I'll give the cover away. People like them for art.
Sure.
I'll give the record away because people paint on it. And I just, I can't sell it.
Well, it can be repurposed. It's
And
still,
nothing goes in a trash bin. Everything goes to people in town that can reuse the cover. I mean, those college kids love these covers on their walls.
Right.
I mean, they love it.
I'm glad they rediscovered it.
Right.
There's a whole generation that, when I come by your setup on Saturday mornings, there are college kids there looking at the albums, which always shocked me initially. Now, I'm used to it. I expect it, but initially I was surprised. So yeah, they appreciate the artwork and of the albums, and they are starting to appreciate physical media more than maybe the generation before them did. So there was a big gap.
You're right. That 90s, 2000, 2010s, there was that gap to where they didn't know the difference of that analog made record and something they're buying now that's just mass produced without that quality of sound that captures every voice, every instrument, everything. And they'll go to Grandma and Grandpa's house, Mom and Dad's house, and they'll put on an original record, and they'll go, well, that doesn't sound like what's going on in my headphones,
right?
Or that doesn't sound like even a CD, and that's catching on,
right?
Because record sales right now, Eric, are as high or higher than they were in the 70s and 80s. Worldwide, they are higher.
Wow.
And we're not talking the newer records coming out. They're talking people want the original records.
Right.
And we specialize at the market of first pressings. And people don't realize that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
You're getting the first batches of that pressing, so that quality, that sound is going to be captured. And I think there's probably 95, 98% of all the records that are at Yellow Roman Candle are first pressings. And it's hard to find them
Right.
that are in good shape and are quality that I can sell. And the cover's good, and the inserts there, and all the original inserts are inside.
Yeah. Oh, that's part of the lovely process of exploring vinyl for me. I have accidentally found so many original posters. That poster,
The Pink Floyd, yes, Dark Side of the Moon.
That is from
One
Dark
of
Side
two.
of the Moon. Wow, the other one's kind of green.
Well,
and,
it's the moon.
Yeah.
And then the original had the two stickers. Now
I have the stickers as well.
right, and and that's a huge find or the Beatles White Album where you get the poster and the 4 photographs.
Yeah.
So they're gems inside.
Yeah. The Chicago poster I have in the front room is out of an album, and there's another Chicago album I have right now that has an original poster in it, but the shape and size is so unusual I can't figure out how to frame it or where I could put it even in here. So
is it the huge one?
it's the one that's like that long and only a foot tall.
Right.
And it's individual pictures
it
of
keeps
each.
unfolding.
Yeah.
Chicago was infamous for their posters. The Guinness, how do you say the Guinness World Record
Book of World Records
for the largest poster in an album in history is from Chicago.
Wow.
It was coined as they said a giant wall poster. It was almost 7 feet by 5. Now I sold that it was the Chicago album that had the 4 records in it.
Okay.
And it was pretty much white. Said Chicago on it.
So many of their album covers looked almost the same.
I know. You're right. Had 3 posters in it. It had that huge poster. The cool thing is it had inside of it a voting registration sheet because they were really big into that.
Yes.
So they would say where to vote, how to vote, and so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the world's largest poster for any album belongs to Chicago.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's we would go on all day about vinyl in general, and we're probably going to in the future. But this week we wanted to talk about one album in particular. You brought one with you from your inventory. Why did you pick this one? Tell us a little bit about it.
I wanted to bring David's Young Americans album, okay, which is important to me because of my high school years.
Okay.
Okay, because that album came out in I think January-ish of 1975. So I was in high school, and in town, living in Illinois, in town was a Pizza Hut, and you can go to the Pizza Hut and the jukebox, and it was 10 cents for a song, or 3 songs for a quarter, or you get 12 songs for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
And so Young Americans came out with Fascination, Fame, Young Americans.
Yep.
And everybody that I would go hang out with were just sick and tired because I would take 4 quarters and I would put Young Americans, Fame, Young Americans, Fame. And that's all that played. And Young Americans is like a 5.5 minute song.
Yeah.
Oh, they got tired of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the owner would come out and unplug it and say, look, here's your quarterback.
Right.
Come on. I'm like, yeah, but this is a great song.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to it. I had the 8-track first.
Okay.
In my 69 Pontiac Catalina, I had the 8-track.
Nice.
So I didn't have lyrics. You know, when you grow up, you finally get to read what it is.
And it was
I'm like,
something totally
excuse
different
me?
than what you
What?
used to sing. Yep.
I'm like, man, this is a song about America. And I'm like, okay, it really is, but it's not what I thought it was.
Right.
Still a great song. And I think I liked it even more because of that.
Yeah.
And, you know, the thing about him writing the song, David writing Young Americans, is, you know, he's from London.
Yeah.
And he did a lot of his work in London. I think Brixton, or I forgot the name of his town he's from. But he hung out with a lot of famous people, a lot of famous British artists. His half-brother gave him a book when he was a budding artist. And I brought the book. It's Jack Kerouac's On the Road. Okay.
I've heard the title before, but I'm not real
so,
familiar with
relative of mine, and my son's named after him.
it. Okay.
So his half-brother gives him Jack Kerouac's On the Road. He reads it. And in his interviews that he's had, interviews with David, with Dick Cavett and other people, he was inspired so much by the book. That's when he started dyeing his hair, painting his face, put costumes on. He became very theatrical after reading the book because it's like, wait a minute, I really can do what I want to do. I have all these managers saying, look, this is your look. Here's what you got. He's like, that's not who I am though.
Right.
So he read this. He read some other beat poetry from William Burroughs, you know, the beatniks back in the day, the Beat Generation.
Right.
And he's like, that's really who I am. So he changed his whole persona.
Was that right before the Ziggy Stardust?
All of that
that's
was
what brought
because
it
of that,
about?
right. And he became the star man because he wanted to, but he was held back.
Right.
He's like, forget it. Either people are going to love it or they're not. I'm going to do it anyway.
Right.
And he did. And he was inspired. And again, I don't know these things. I'm learning these later as I'm an adult.
Sure.
And people come up to me and go, yeah, well, what's one of your greatest artists? And I go, oh, I love David Bowie. Well, did you know that he read this book? I'm going, what? You know, because I didn't know.
Right.
You know, I mean, I knew about Jack Kerouac, obviously, but I didn't know his influence on a lot of musical artists.
Yeah.
But I like the song because, as David would put it, is he came to America and he wanted to learn about this dream. What is this American dream?
Right, because making it in America was big for British artists. That was when you really consider yourself successful. They might be number one on the charts in Britain, but until they cracked America, they really hadn't made it yet.
And a lot of his songs that he wrote and sung went to the top 100 here, not there. And I know that it has a lot to do with record sales. I mean, we have enough people in one city that they have in a country. So I understand the numbers game.
Right.
But popularity-wise, he was huge here. And it was the timing.
Yeah.
If he would have came over 20 years later or earlier, it wouldn't have worked. It was perfect. But he writes this song and just some of the lyrics that once I finally got the record and read it, I still didn't understand it in my teenage years. But when he talks about making the dream, but the dream is really not reachable for most people.
Right.
You can't. And after about 20 to 21 years old, your childhood is gone, and now you're realizing that I can't do that. And that's true. It says, where have all the papas and heroes gone? We live for just these 20 years, but do we have to die for the next 50 or 50 more? And, you know, you're thinking, yeah, you're right. I remember being happy playing with the G.I. Joes and Hot Wheels. And I'm going, cool, life is good.
Right.
And then, you know, your middle school, your high school, and you're in a little clique and, you know, you're popular and everybody likes you. And cool, great. And then you kind of grow up. And then you realize, okay, there's that responsibility.
Right.
And to get that dream, getting through high school was rough, even getting through college, but making that dream come true is tough.
Right.
I mean, and that's what he said, look, you're going to have fun till you're 20. Next 50 years, you're going to work yourself to death. And looking around, that's pretty much what happens, unfortunately.
Right.
And he wrote that because of what happened post-World War II. You know, the baby boom, factories everywhere, and then closing. I mean, I know that for a fact. I mean, my dad was huge in the Sears arena. He ran all the outdoor products.
Okay.
And he go to work one day. I mean, he's a CEO. And he will go to work and say, yeah, we're closing down. And then this plant closes down. And even here in Columbia, South Carolina, these plants just close down. And we have people living in the housing that's made for those people that they're in plants.
Right.
And then next thing you know, that dream is no longer, you grew up where probably like me, people didn't leave town.
Right. Very, very, very unusual. I was the first member of my family to really move out of state.
Pretty much me too, right. And well, the Army did that, but still, people stayed. You got your high school sweetheart, aunt and uncle's here, Christmas, holidays are great because there's family reunions, you know everybody.
Yeah.
And then things closed. And then jobs are overseas. And we're moving to different places to find those jobs.
Right.
And that's what he's talking about, that dream ended.
Yeah.
Because we were supposed to stay where we were, get the girl, and just live our life, and that's what it's about.
Right. Well, that hits home for me personally because I have kind of a before and after defining period in my life where the the initial direction and goal kind of that I had for my life, I ended up going a totally different direction and have a little bit of a personal renaissance. And so that initial dream, an idea of what I had for what my life was going to be, when I decided that wasn't for me anymore, I had to figure out who I was and what I wanted at that point. You know, what is life going to be now? I'm, you know, in my early 40s. What now? You know, I don't want to do what I set out to do. My life's going to be different now, and you kind of got to start from scratch. And I think that really that happens to a lot of people. You just have to.
Well, it's exactly what he wrote about.
Yeah.
He comes from England. He says, you know what? I want to do this album in Philadelphia. I want it to be soulful. I want it to be R&B. I want some funk in it.
Yeah.
I mean, he had David Sanborn on saxophone.
Luther
Vandross background, I mean, vocals. Yeah. How more soul or R&B can you get? And that was far from what he's been doing.
Right. It was a total departure, a new style. Yeah.
But it's exactly what you went through. You had to just take a breath and go, you know what? This might upset, insult just what a lot of people, but I've got to follow what I think I need to be following.
Right.
I want to do what I think is best, not selfishly, but for you to be the best product you can be.
Right.
And he's thinking, to provide the best music, I've got to cut away from all that and go with this. I mean, they had him on Soul Train.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that is crazy.
I mean, talk about breaking barriers.
Mm-hmm.
This British guy. I mean, he had a crazy life. Died young.
Yeah.
69 from, I think, liver cancer.
Yeah.
Which is shameful. 69.
Yeah. I've got a story about that.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite bands, my brother and I were just talking about yesterday, when I was 11, 12 years old, I thought Duran Duran was the coolest shit ever. Not just the music, but the image, the fashion, the hair, the androgyny.
Well, thanks MTV.
Yeah, exactly. So that was my jam then. And from the very beginning of them forming as a band, they all cited Bowie as their biggest influence. Second was Chic, the American band.
You could see that,
yeah,
you know, and hear it.
Yeah, Bowie was their biggest influence. And when he died, I happened to already have tickets to see Duran Duran for the first time in my life, about a month after he died. And they did this lovely tribute to him. During their song Planet Earth, they did a segment where they put his picture up on the screen and switched from Planet Earth to Planet Earth is Blue, and you know, switched right into one of his songs, and you know, gave a really touching tribute. I think I teared up a little bit. It was perfect timing, because I had read from age 12 that Bowie was, you know, their biggest influence, and so, you know, I had sampled some of his music just because they recommended it. Now, Let's Dance was always my favorite album, because it, you know, a little bit more of a blues influence.
Correct.
And with Stevie Ray Vaughan played a lot of the guitar parts on there, so that was always my favorite Bowie album, and I discovered a lot of the rest of his catalog back from their later years.
If I'm not mistaken, I know he was over 50 years. I can't even remember how many albums he did, but it was almost like an album a year. It was that many, almost 50. It was a lot of albums.
It was a ton.
Yeah.
And another funny story about how I discovered some of the back catalog is I've been listening to some of the albums on vinyl for the first time, because I didn't grow up being a big Bowie fan. But here's how I kind of came to some of his catalog is my wife had, unfortunately, a relative pass away in Indiana, and the house was empty, and the house had been in the family for a couple of generations. So it was her uncle that passed away, but then his mother had lived in that house for, I don't know, 30, 40 years. And so a lot of the family members who had passed even before the uncle, their belongings were still there in the attic. So when the responsibility fell to us and my wife's sisters to clean the place out, and a couple of cousins helped out too. So we had a crew just go in and clean the house out and get it ready to put on the market. And when we did, one of the aunt's record collections was upstairs in the attic, and she must have been a huge Bowie fan, because there were about 8 Bowie albums. Young Americans was not one of them. But there were about 8 Bowie albums, and there was also a mint copy of Pet Sounds up there.
Oh, Beach Boys.
Yeah. I might have wept a little bit at that too, because you don't see Pet Sounds everywhere, especially a mint copy. And those records had probably been in that attic in the heat, the humidity, the brutal winters in India. Probably been up there 20 years untouched, and they were all in perfect condition. And so that, a lot of the Bowie music that I listen to now, I'm discovering for the first time, is due to that happenings. It was a really nice find.
That's bittersweet.
Yeah,
don't you think?
It is, and it kind of goes along with one of my 2 turntables that I use here. Not the one down here in the juke joint, but there's another one upstairs. Belonged to my wife's father, and I never got to meet him. He passed before we met, and so that is kind of my only way to know him. I have one of his turntables. I had it refurbished, and it didn't work when we met, but she had it. It was still in the original box, and I took it to a guy there in East Tennessee that restored it for us, and it's a late 70s Techniques turntable, and it works better than I've gone through probably 6 turntables down here on my Sony system. The one I have now is great, but they break a lot. But that one, since we had it restored, it runs like a top. And it's special to me because I never got to meet him, and I'm so grateful to have met his daughter. It's kind of my way of getting to know him and having him be a part of my life.
I understand that, right?
And so the Bowie collection is the same. It's bittersweet because the uncle that passed, I never got to meet him in person either, but we would talk on FaceTime when he would call my wife, so I got to know him a little bit, but I never got to meet him in person either. So it's nice to have a personal connection to those Bowie albums and the turntable.
But in our relationships growing up, in our memories, most of the time for me, probably for you, comes down to something musical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we've had this discussion. You get people coming in. You see every generation at the store at Soda City.
Right.
From 12 years old to 80 to 90. And I think the biggest compliment that you can receive as someone who's trying to provide a product is when the person comes in and goes, man, I've had all of these. Good, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
Oh, I remember this. And so I'll just sit back and just watch the daughter and the dad. Mm-hmm. And the dad will go, oh, I remember when I had this and I met your mother and we listened to this song. And the daughter goes, well, I want that record because this is where you met mom.
Right.
Or we went to a concert with this and this, they played this. And we sell memories.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay? That's all it is, it's stories. Mm-hmm. I mean, my story with David Bowie and Young Americans is the Pizza Hut in high school. I know the seat, the sticky vinyl seat.
Yeah.
the dark atmosphere, the fake stained glass lamps that are red, blue, browns, and yellows.
Yep.
And
Maybe the smell in the air.
and the 15-year-old pimpled guy bringing you the pizza, and just
Yep.
everything. And just going there and taking that dime or quarter and pushing the buttons, and music comes out.
Right.
And you're just sitting there with your friends and eating, and you don't remember what the conversation was.
Right.
You don't remember what pizza you ordered. You remember what was playing.
Absolutely.
You remember, and because of that, you start remembering the other senses. But it's the music.
Yeah.
And then we could go on about so many albums that have that story.
So man, take things over. Hey, let them loose, hard to swallow. Hey.
Well, Bryan, thanks a lot for coming on the show today.
My honor.
I want to make sure that any viewers that live in the Columbia area know where to find you. So Saturday morning, Soda City Market, right on Main Street. Where's your booth set up?
So it's Main Street, like you said, and you have Lady Street in Washington, and it goes north. So we're in between Lady and Washington, where the arcade is, the arcade building.
Gotcha.
And we're right in front. That is our permanent spot.
Okay.
So daughters Natalia, Alexa, I'm out there with the records. They have their merchandise, their vintage clothing, and all the jewelry and all that. And it's just like a daughter-father thing. Not a father-daughter, daughter-father.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're in charge.
Transitioning to
them.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but thanks. This is beautiful. I mean, I walked in here and I was so impressed that you did I don't know what you did, but it's so comfortable. And it is a speakeasy.
Yeah.
We're down lower, like below street level. You got brick out there, and we can be as loud as we want, and nobody's going to hear us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a comfortable spot. So we won't leave the camera running forever. Let's sip a little more and continue the conversation. But thanks for watching this week, and make sure you check out Bryan if you live here in Columbia, and find some good vinyl to take home and make a part of your collection. Thanks,
Excellent.
Bryan.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers to your health.